My name is Nakisha Jones. I am a SCAD alumni in illustration. My minor was in creative writing. I graduated in 2012. And since then, I've just been like freelancing art on the side, mostly this year in particular, is that I feel like there's been a lot more attention on Black stories, Black businesses, different conversations that have been coming up, and people actually wanting to hear what I have to say or hear what my friends have to say. I feel like 2020, there was a lot of stuff happening. For a minute, it was a little bit overwhelming, but it was good for different conversations to come up about like race or social injustice, or just even asking me had I experienced different things, or had I experienced racism. It might feel common, like within my circle of friends, it might be a common thing, but other people may not know, like, oh, this is a reality for you. And I'm like, yeah, there's certain places that I'm like, I don't need to be in there, or it's not as welcoming. A lot of the stuff that's happening is not necessarily new. This month in particular, for this year, I feel like I've been seeing so many of my friends like really taking up their space, using their voice in different ways to like speak up, but they're like really like getting comfortable being in their skin and like sharing their experience and celebrating things and doing things that are like great. As you guys know, I did the mural with the Fence project that was with Starlania. But it came together really nicely. I was really proud of it. I still am really proud of it. When the mural got published in the Savannah Morning News, it came out the day after the inauguration. And I was like, what? This is historic. Like, I feel like I'm part of Black history. This would be something that I tell my family about, like all of those things. And I feel like people have been really excited about the things, the positive things that we're doing. There's, of course, still a lot of improvement with the world to work on things. But I think, at least with my experience right now, there's been a lot of positive things happening that I'm like, I'm glad that I can be like a part of it and like use my voice. And even in my work, like I'm very intentional about like painting Black people, because I didn't see a lot of that artwork growing up. One of my favorite artists is Kadir Nelson. It had to be from like an art history class or something that I came across like his work. And I was like, his stuff is amazing. And so like he recently did the show Blackish on Netflix. So he did the cover illustration of the family. And I was like, are you kidding me? It looks so nice. He's always posting like project, work in progress stuff on Instagram and Facebook. So he was like a big inspiration. Don Tate is another illustrator, and he does a lot of really nice things. Those are the ones that I usually just gravitate to first. When I first came across them, like I could definitely look back in old sketchbooks and see like when I started like learning new things or new techniques from watching them do their stuff. Because a lot of times, even with artists or even in the classroom, in my own homework, I'm gonna have to do research and look at other artists to try to learn what do I need to do or how to make this picture or project turn out great. There definitely was a point, I wanted to say in June, surrounding like Juneteenth, that I was working on a large project. So she had asked me to have some artwork in there to like celebrate Juneteenth. But then I also wasn't accounting for, there was a lot of like social injustice happening. So I was like, is any of the artwork that I'm doing, does this even matter? Originally, the project was about celebrating Juneteenth, but then with everything happening, I was like, okay, should I be painting something to prove to this group of people that I deserve to be here? Like, whatever I paint has to have that message come across. At the end of the day, someone who's full of hate and all of these things, they're not gonna care one way or the other because they have this mindset and they have all these thoughts. about who they think that I am based on the color of my skin. And so I was like, there's nothing that I can do to change that if that is their core belief. But a lot of my artwork, I look back out now and I'm like, wow, you really put all of your feelings into that. And different people are seeing it and they're having conversations about it. And so I feel like that's part of being a creative, is a lot of times we're not necessarily doing things for other people's enjoyment. Sometimes we are, but it's also a way for us to deal with our stuff. So I think what's just keeping me to keep doing my artwork is just to remember my why of what I'm creating for, and just continuing to grow in my creative space, but also making sure that I'm not putting myself in this box of like trying to compare myself to someone else's artwork or trying to meet this unmeetable expectation of creating something to prove something to someone else.